welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm joined by the STEM counselor, Mrs. Tiffany Fung, and two of our STEM seniors, Benjamin and Nishat. They'll talk to us in just a little bit. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mrs. Lauren Kleinberg, and I have been teaching at Granada for 14 years, which is pretty amazing. It's gone by very fast. And I'm the STEM lead teacher. I am an English teacher. I teach AP English, and I also teach in the AP Capstone program. And this is always the moment where I answer the question of, why is an English teacher leading STEM? And it will kind of explain itself as we go through the presentation. But we have a certain population of students who are obviously very passionate about STEM fields. But if they want to pursue those careers, they need to be able to articulate their ideas. They need to be able to write effectively about their ideas. So there are some key components to the English curriculum that we feel allow our STEM students to thrive in their future careers. So we guide them as a team. For STEM, they take math, science, and English classes with other STEM students. So actually, English is a core component of the STEM program. And so I wanted to share the STEM vision. This is again on the website, but I think it gives you some of the buzzwords that really inform our curriculum development and our program design. So our vision is to prepare students with the 21st century skills that are necessary to meet the future demands of a highly competitive workforce. We have students' career choices in mind. We know that they're thinking about their future and colleges and the jobs. And so that's really part of our thought process for STEM. Our program aims to inspire students to be problem solvers, innovators, and inventors. I mean, here we are in the thick of a pandemic, and we're going to be looking to our STEM students to help solve these problems, innovate, create new technological approaches to the things we need when we encounter challenges in our society. And we want our students to be self-reliant, able to think logically, and also take their big brains and contribute to the advancement of the global community through their STEM choices. So it's a very tall order, obviously, but these are sort of the aspects of the STEM vision that drive our program and the curriculum choices. The STEM curriculum revolves around a design wheel. As you can see in the bottom left here, we have this vision of what we want our students to be doing in their STEM classes. So of course they are taking very rigorous courses, but we're always asking them to inquire and investigate problems, real world problems, and think about how those problems can be potentially solved. We then ask students to move into a plan, to create certain things, design certain things, evaluate their plan and design. And then you can see that there's a very much a recursive expectation in the design process. So we always want to take what the students are learning in their classes and apply them to the real world. Think about this as an engineering opportunity or a design opportunity. Take their learning from multiple classes and make it interdisciplinary. We really emphasize inquiry and investigation and exploration, right? We know these students have a passion for these fields, and as our seniors will tell you, it was these opportunities in some of their STEM classes that led them into the path of their career choice. We absolutely expect our students to work together, have teamwork, collaboration. We do have high expectations when it comes to their course load, and Mrs. Fung, our counselor, will talk a little bit about the course selections in 9th grade, but we do have a very high expectation of the rigor as far as the math, science, and English courses go. They're expected to take 4 years of all 3 of those subjects and follow an honors or an AP path by the end. And this is something that we constantly talk about in the program, right? We know our students are taking these high-level classes. There's a lot of pressure and expectations. And so we really work with the students to emphasize practice and growth, right? You'll see in a moment that some of our freshmen take AP Physics. And that might not be an easy class at the outset, but we want to encourage them to practice to understand that they're going to improve and grow, and these are the foundations for what they'll need in their STEM fields. And as the STEM lead, it's essential that the students are being exposed to research in all of their classes at all different grade levels, because we know that once they get to the college level, they're going to be researching their career of choice, their field of choice, and make contributions to that field. So our goal is that in 9th grade, students get introduced to research methods. There's a research project and they learn how to access their online databases. In 10th grade, they learn how to evaluate their sources, the credibility of those sources. Clearly, they're doing that in 9th grade as well, but there's more of an expanded curriculum in 10th grade about credibility. By the time they're in 11th grade, whether they're taking that honors English or that AP class, they're now synthesizing, meaning they're taking a variety of perspectives and incorporating that into their arguments, and particularly their English class or even in their math and science classes. And then the research culminates in a STEM senior design project. When the student is enrolled in a senior English class for STEM, they're going to participate in a design project, which is actually a very rewarding project. All Granada students, no matter what academic program, are required to complete a senior project. But for STEM students, it's a design project. It's a little more hands-on. Students will identify a problem that's meaningful to them in the world, something within their community or larger. On a larger scale, and they work to design something to address those problems. So it's really a nice capstone to the work they've done in their STEM courses. So this is where Mrs. Fung is going to jump in and talk a little bit about the course selection for 9th graders.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. So my name is Ms. Fung. I'm the STEM counselor here at Granada. So if your child is going to be part of the STEM program, I will be his or her counselor for the next couple of years until they graduate. So when you are meeting with me for the first time, we are going to be able to kind of go over their 4-year plan and kind of figure out their 9th grade classes. In STEM, we do want students to take 4 years of math, 4 years of science, honors English or AP English for the 4 years in high school. So for 9th grade solely, some students can start off either from Algebra 1 all the way up to Algebra 2, depending on what math course you took in 8th grade. The STEM science class, it's either going to be honors chemistry or AP Physics 1. AP Physics 1, a lot of parents are like, oh, 9th grade, it's scary. That class is actually only going to be with STEM freshman students. So in terms of the rigor, it's going to be for students that have completed geometry and are going to be taking Algebra 2. So the class itself is really going to be tailored for STEM freshmen. Older students will not be in those certain STEM cohorted courses. The STEM local option, we have 3 different selections. So this is really geared for students that are looking into maybe engineering, computer science. For example, the Exploring Computer Science course is really, really fun. Kids can learn how to do HTML. They're able to then, go on and build like a video game. They can utilize Scratch. The Intro to Engineering class, some of our seniors have taken it in the past, and it's really going to be like more of a careers exploration where you're looking into the different kinds of engineering. There's a lot of teamwork involved. You're able to work in a lot of collaborative group environment. I don't know if Nishan and Benjamin, you kind of want to talk a little bit about your freshman, choice in courses and how your local option kind of help drive the next couple of years for you in high school, and maybe talk a little bit about what classes you're currently taking.
Yeah, sure. So during my freshman year, I was one of the students that took Exploring Computer Science. I didn't know a lot about computer science going into the class, but by the end of the class, I was actually able to program a website for our final with HTML code. My classes freshman year, I took honors chemistry, honors English, I took geometry, and I also had Exploring Computer Science and PE. This year, my classes are gotten a bit more difficult. I've started taking more APs. I have AP Literature, I have AP Calculus AB, I'm taking AP Research, and I also have our economics class and what was my last class? Honors Physiology class.
So freshman year for me, my classes that I took Algebra 2, Honors Biology because it was offered for freshmen during my year, Honors English, and I took Intro to Engineering and our PE class that is recommended. So Intro to Engineering really worked hand in hand with my extracurricular at school. So one of the great things about Granada, it really helps because your teachers like help accommodate you and help you work towards any other goals that you have in school. So I was part of the robotics team at school and I still am. So taking Intro to Engineering really helped make a foundation for what I learned in robotics. And from Intro to Engineering, I actually picked up a minor from there. So Intro to Engineering, while I was in that class, I learned a lot about cognitive science, which is basically the computer science aspect to neuroscience. So from there, I picked up a potential minor that I want to do in college. And that was for my freshman year. So now as a senior, my classes have relatively gotten harder, just like that. So right now I'm taking AP Biology, fun. I'm taking AP Statistics. I think that is the only other math class on campus that I can take right now, so I'm taking AP Statistics. I am taking AP Macro and Micro for my economics requirement. I'm taking AP Literature, and I'm also taking my VAPA this year, so filmmaking. So I think my schedule balances out pretty well for this semester.
So, for STEM in particular, the students are cohorted in their English, math, and science classes. So they're really able to build within a large, high school surrounding like a little community, and they get to work really closely with each other, and they have designated STEM teachers that they can get a lot of help from and a lot of support through the next couple of years. Obviously, every year your classes get a little harder, and you also sit with me multiple times throughout the year to kind of discuss like what kind of classes we should take, like looking forward, like your future goals, like what courses will align with these goals. So these kind of meetings happen in our one-to-one meeting throughout the year. Yeah, Ms. Kleinberg.
Yeah, great. Thank you all for sharing. That's so amazing to hear from actual students. And I think, the testament to what Benjamin and Nishat both said is that, they had different elective options. But as you can see, those are the 3 options for STEM. You are required to pick one of those electives as a STEM student. So what we're hoping when you meet with Mrs. Fung, that your incoming freshman is really excited about one of those classes, right? That it's really what's driving them to take STEM. If there are other things that you'd rather do, like an art class or, an AP history class, those are not options as an elective as a STEM student, because we want the STEM students to have as many opportunities to take these classes starting from the beginning as possible. And as Nishat said, it started her on a path for a certain career choice or a certain field of study. And that's really the goal. STEM is really a program for students who already have identified their areas that are their passions. And if that's not your student, they don't know yet what they want to do, that's okay. Granada still offers these classes for non-STEM students. So if you're not committed to this program yet, but you still think you might want to take, AP Computer Science later on in your career, you absolutely can. It's not just for a STEM student, but these are the expectations for STEM students. There are still STEM classes, STEM type classes that all Granada students can take. So again, it's just really about capturing, those students who are passionate about these fields and know kind of right away what they're ready to dig into at Granada.
Yeah, so a parent kind of mentioned like what are some extracurricular activities that STEM students are involved in. Just being in part of the STEM program, you still have a lot of opportunities to be like, Nishat's in robotics. In the science team, a lot of my students will join science team, debate, band, sports. You still have the necessary time and ability to commit to other things. We want our students to be well-rounded. So not only just like, they're able to contribute through all the different kind of clubs and activities that we do offer in Granada. So students are, I have students that are in art classes. You do have time to take an art class. You do need one for graduation, but but we want our students starting freshman year to really start on their STEM electives. And then as they progress throughout high school, then they have more opportunities to take different classes.
And so as far as, what we want to offer our STEM students, these are kind of our checklist for what kind of experiences and offerings we want to make sure our STEM students have by the time they graduate. We want to make sure they have plenty of opportunities to collaborate and cooperate in groups, have opportunities to lead, right? I'm sure Nishat has a stronger leadership role in robotics now than she did in freshman year. So again, these leadership positions, we're looking, encouraging our students to step up and take those leadership roles in the classroom and in their extracurriculars as well. At all grade levels, we want our students to have opportunities for design, to problem solve, apply their studies to the real world. I think that's clear that, these particular students are doing that, to reflect on their work and reflect on their practices and ways to improve. And finally, plan for the future. It's pretty amazing that we have a designated STEM counselor. She gets to know these students really well over the 4 years and can really guide them in selecting certain colleges and scholarship opportunities. So maybe just to kind of hear from the students one more time before we wrap up, maybe Benjamin and Nishat. Benjamin can go first. What is your plan for the future? What are you looking to do at the college level next year?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I had a chance over the summer to intern with a scientific research lab, thanks to an opportunity provided to me by STEM. And, that started to put me on a bit more into the track of mind of becoming a scientific researcher in the future and going for a PhD. So I'm planning on getting a bachelor major in biology, possibly a minor in business as well, and then going on to go a PhD or maybe even become a practicing physician and get an MD.
So my plan in terms of my future is I plan on double majoring if possible in neuroscience and business. And as I mentioned prior, I would like to get a minor in cognitive science. I really became interested in computer science all throughout high school, so I think that's a really good minor. And all throughout college, I plan on doing a pre-med track because my overall goal is to go into neurosurgery. So medical school right after undergrad would be the most ideal situation for me.
I guess I want to end it with, Ms. Kleinberg and all the STEM teachers in the STEM program really believe in giving students opportunities outside of the classroom to be able to apply what they learn into like a real world situation. So we offer a lot of STEM opportunities that we covered last year. So we had a Women's Empowerment Summit where, female STEM leaders were able to work with our STEM students in terms of like different employment opportunities and get the idea of what they do on a day-to-day basis. We also had a PBG career day and an engineering field trip where students were able to connect with engineers at PBG and meet the president of the local chapter here in Southern California. A couple of them were able to either also get internships in the summer. We also partnered with Medtronic in the past summer for rising seniors to have a paid summer internship working in their research lab. And then also for the Children's Hospital in LA, a lot of my students will volunteer during the summer or during the school year to really get some ideas on how that would be in the hospital setting. So during COVID, and especially this year, we want to help students increase their understanding of like different careers and different fields that they can go into. So lately we've been having a CSUN engineering night and an engineering panel. And then we also are having USC a STEM and STEAM night that is going on right now. But overall, STEM students are really passionate about math, science, they're problem solvers, they're innovative thinkers, and the program itself really helps to bring that out in the students that we work with.
And I'll just close up here. Mrs. Fung's contact information is on the screen. That's the best way to start reaching out to her regarding applying to the STEM program. And again, just thank you for your time. Thank you to the students. And again, I hope it's become pretty clear how passionate we are about STEM and supporting our STEM students and helping them enter into the world, as effective communicators, confident in their choices, adapting. It's clear that these two young people want to take their brains and big minds and contribute to making society better. And that's, again, what makes me so passionate about working in the STEM program. So thank you so much. Please do, communicate with Mrs. Fung if you have further questions. We'll wrap up with answering any other questions in the chat, but for now, that ends our presentation for STEM. Have a great afternoon. Thank you so much.